Hey everyone, the greatest goblin that ever lived is here to do a comic book review for this week of November 2014. And immediately after I get done filming this review, while it's uploading on my computer, I'm going to be filming a back issue review for my Blugoblin X channel where I talk about the first 3 issues of the Logan Legacy. But I'm going to do these first. I got a couple indies and some Marvel and DC, of course. We're going to start with the indies, go through Marvel, and then end with DC. This is actually a pretty solid week for comics, actually. We're going to start with Valiant. We're going to start with The Return of Quantum and Woody, issue number 2. Look, I'm not gonna beat around the bush with this. I was not really that fond of this. Like I said, I went into the first issue thinking, oh, okay, this is going to be the next miniseries about Quantum and Woody, the series I just got through reading, you know, with the goat and everything. No, this is a continuation of the original Quantum and Woody series from the 90s. And man, does it show. And man, does it remind me that I missed out on some crap in the 90s, because this was probably the only stinker out of the whole stack this week, but it wasn't a complete clusterfuck of badness. It just does not have that same magic that the previous, that the Quantum and Woody series that came right before this one had. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't measure up to what that series had, and this left me all kinds of disappointed. But I'm gonna finish the series because I've ordered it. I'm gonna run through it and see if it gets better than this, because man, this was awful. I just didn't care. I just didn't care. I'm giving it a 2. I just didn't care. Alright, going on to Dynamite. We're going to issue number 13 of Red Sonja. This is the first chapter in a brand new story arc from Gail Simone and Walter Giovanni. Oh my god. It's a shame that that this title is ending very soon, which I don't think it should. You know, if Gail wants to quit writing it, that's fine. Just have somebody else write it and keep Walter Giovanni on the artwork, because man, the artwork is amazing. I love it. And the writing is good too. This is the first part of a new story arc in which Sonja is in a cave and she runs across a killer who believes himself a wizard or something like that. And he's got a really weird name. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. But she gets back. She kills him. But right before he dies, he curses Sonja. Says, "I curse you, Sonja. You will never be able to forgive." I was like, this is interesting. He could have gone, this is an interesting curse, because he could have went with the stereotypical, you are cursed with a forever stink, or you are cursed with clumsiness, or you are cursed with death. Anybody you get close to, or anybody that gets close to you will die, or you are cursed to never know the joy of sex, or something like that. They could have gone with something simple and comical, or they could have went with something simple and detrimental to her, but instead they went with something very interesting, and they went with something that could affect not only her, but it'll affect everybody around her, and it'll also affect anybody she associates with, and that was really interesting. Very, very well done. And we get to see just how well this curse works. Oh my god, this was amazing. Very well done. When she fully realizes that this curse is legit, it's like she just has a breakdown. It's just really, really well written. Kudos to Miss Gail Simone and to Walter Giovanni. This was an amazing read. Very nicely well put together. Just awesome. I'd give it a 4. Alright, moving on to Marvel. We're starting off with all new Captain America issue number 1. Rick Remender, Stuart Immonen. Now, I don't know I haven't read what was building up to this, but the exposition on the first page just let me know everything I needed to know. You know, Steve Rogers has had the super soldier serum sucked out of him, and now he's old and average, so he passed the mantle on to Sam Falcon. He is now Captain America. This was good. This was good. It had the feel of a Captain America comic book. However, I mentioned this on Twitter, at Blugoblin01. Please follow me, cheap plug. But I mentioned this on my Twitter page, and I got replies to it, and I'm thinking to myself, has anybody else got a Batman Beyond vibe to this title? Because think about this. The new hero being trained or, being advised by the predecessor. Terry McGinnis was Batman, but he's being trained and being, consulted by the original Batman, the first Batman. Here you got Sam Wilson, former Falcon, now Captain America, being advised by the Captain America that came before him. It just had that same feeling to it. So this book does not win any points on originality whatsoever. However, this was very nicely done. It had that Captain America feel to it. The storytelling, the way it was done, with Sam having his hands full with not just Batroc the Leaper, but by the end of the book, holy fucking shit. This was good. Sam's going after Hydra. He's getting advice from Steve through communications. But oh man, this was good. The action was good. The dialogue was good. The flashbacks to Sam's past was really good. And by the time we got to the end of the issue, holy Christ. Oh, I'm ready for issue 2. This was good. I'm glad I picked this up. I'm glad I ordered it. And I'm looking forward to more. Give me more of this, and I'm sticking around. This was good. I'd give it a 4. Okay, moving on to Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man, number 7. Bendis, Marquez. Good job. Oh, man. Where do I even begin with this? First of all, that's an awesome cover. I think I'm going to make that a wallpaper. This concludes Miles' dilemma with the Green Goblin. Now I'm convinced the Peter Parker that we've seen here is Peter Parker because of the exposition that Norman had given a previous couple of issues ago in here. It's like this, the spider bite and the formula that made us the Green Goblin and Spider-Man basically made us somewhat immortal. And by the end of the fight, Norman Osborn doesn't look so immortal after all. And it's like, what a way to build up Miles Morales as a character by having him just relentlessly beat the fucking shit out of the Green Goblin. And I mean bad. With that venom sting that he has, oh my god, this fight was so one-sided. And usually I would scoff at something like that because I see John Cena do enough of that shit. But with this, I will give it credit rather than crap, because you're needing to build up Miles Morales, because you're probably going to be bringing him into the 616 once the Ultimate Universe goes away. But very nicely done. Now, there's a big zinger in here concerning Miles's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, Katie Bishop. There's a big zinger in there with her, and I dare not spoil that. But then there's a cliffhanger at the end of this issue. Oh man, it's about fucking time we get some explanation. This was good. Very nicely done. Very well handled. The action was kick-ass. The writing was good. And it's good to see Peter and MJ back together after all the shit that they went through, especially with Peter kind of dying. But really, really good. I loved it. I also give this a 4. Alright, moving on to Nightcrawler number 8. Chris Claremont, thank you. This was so good. Nightcrawler is at the school. He's in the danger room, and he gets called by Bloody Bess, who he had this lovely lady right here. He gets called by her, and he ports to her, and they're on the run from the Crimson Pirates, and Kurt notices something about them. The way they're talking to them, and it's like, that's not how they should talk. I know that speech. I know that form of speech. And once we get the big reveal of who the main antagonist of this particular storyline is going to be, him with Chris Claremont writing this. Fuck yes. Give me more. Give me more. Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited to read the next issue. God damn. This was so good. Really, really well done. And quite an unoriginal cliffhanger, but it was still awesome. Really good. Incredible writing. Good artwork. Good character development. This was awesome. I fucking loved it. I'm ready for the next issue. It gets a 4. Ooh. Oh, but I can't say anything else because I don't want to spoil it. Alright. Moving on to Thor, number 2. Jason Aaron. Okay. Aaron Doderman Wilson. I'm sorry if I butchered Doderman's name. But, oh. Okay, we get to see this new female Thor in action for the first time. Because the first issue ended with her picking up the hammer and being deemed worthy. In here, we get to see her actually fight. And she's getting used, she's basically coined the phrase learning by doing. You know, when it comes to using Mjolnir. She goes back to Earth, or Midgard. She goes back, and we still don't know who she is. Now, the way they wrote her dialogue in here, I got a pretty good feeling on who it is, but I'm not going to say anything because I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. But I got a pretty good idea who it is. And when they finally reveal who it is, I'll come on here and say whether I was right or wrong. But I got a pretty good feeling. And we get to see her first task as the new Thor, and that's taking on some frost giants led by Malekith. And when I saw Malekith in here, he was wearing something around his neck, and I went, you motherfucker. It was good. It was really good. And it ends on a shit kind of cliffhanger. Nicely done. Really well put together. Decent, really good storytelling. Great artwork. Good character development. I liked Malekith in here. I liked everything in here. It wasn't perfect, but for what it was, I was entertained. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'll give it a 4. I'll be nice. I thought it was good. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for this little jump in the video. I was fixing to pull out the next book and the battery died on the camera, so I had to quickly recharge it, and here we are now. Alright, so where was I before the battery died? Oh yeah, I'm getting to the pick of the week. Now, this may pick of the week, but I mean just barely. If this book hadn't come out this week, I probably would have given my pick to Nightcrawler. But man, you want to talk about redemption, and you want to talk about going back in the right direction when it comes to this particular character. Gotta give it up for SpiderVerse number 1. Yeah, I know, right? It's a Dan Slott heavy Spider-Man book, but you gotta think about this. Spider-Man is my all-time favorite superhero. And when he's written badly, it hurts. And after going through a streak of bad writing, to come back and hit me with some good writing, it's damn impressive. Now, do not get me wrong. I still think Dan Slott's time with the character is far beyond up. It's way past up. It's time for him to step down, write some other titles for Marvel. I don't want him to quit his job, you know, as he put it. No. But I'm just saying, give somebody else a chance to write the flagship character for Marvel Comics. With that being said, here we are. This was good. Part 1 in Amazing Spider-Man was a good setup to where this story can go. And here we are here with the next part of the story, which is SpiderVerse #1. And we get all kinds of stuff in here. We get more multiple Spider-Mans. We get, you know, a Japanese anime Spider-Man. We get May Parker. I'm talking about Aunt May as Spider Lady. Don't get it twisted. It's not decrepit old age Aunt May. No, this takes place back when May Parker was young, and in this alternate reality, she's a spider. We have an appearance from Spider-Ham. We have some more stuff in here that I don't want to go too far into it. I don't want to give everything away. But one thing I will say is, remember, what makes a book my pick of the week is the book I enjoy reading the most. And I mean, oh God, just barely made it. Just barely made it. But we get to see Moreland go places I didn't think he could go to. This was a touching tribute, both historically and satirically, to Spider-Man. And what I mean by that is Moreland even goes so far. You remember, this is a bit of trivia for you younger comic book fans out there, but it's a big wink and nod to older fans like myself, you know, like my bro, TheMtVernonKid, and, you know, for children, for guys and girls that grew up reading comic books back in the 80s, the late 80s, the early 80s, or we read comic books that are, if we've read books that are older than that, it turns out we may have seen this from time to time. But does anybody remember those classic fruit pie ads? You know, Hostess Twinkies, Hostess fruit pie commercials that you would see in somewhere in the comic book back in the good old days. And you had every superhero imaginable promoting these products. You had Batman, you had Wonder Woman, Superman, Spider-Man, you had Captain America, you've had all kinds of legendary comic book characters promote these damn treats. And we go back in time to those days. In this book, we get we get to see Moreland go to a dimension where Spider-Man's gonna try fighting him off by throwing Hostess fruit pies at him. It's designed and drawn to look like a Hostess fruit pie ad from days of yesterday, from the good old days of comic books, and Moreland kills him. Oh, that was rich. That was rich. That was easily one of the best parts of the book, even though the villain won in that particular universe. Oh man, that was great. We also get to see a cute little story with Penelope Parker. We really get to see just how far stretched this particular franchise can be stretched, but it's to the point where it's not overkill yet, and the way this book is presented was really good. It was very fun. It was very gripping. The storytelling that deals with Moreland and his family, it's great. I'm loving this. But in this book, minor spoiler here, we get to see a particular Spider-Man and in his particular universe gets spared. There is a particular universe that has a Spider-Man, But Moreland goes there and gets so frustrated with it, he's basically like, fuck this, I'm leaving. And there at least one Spider-Man on a particular universe is spared. Interesting, but at the same time it's hilarious. But that's all I'm going to say. This was very well done, very well written. A breath of relief compared to the crap that we had to go through to get to this storyline with Amazing Spider-Man. Don't even get me started on this Silk bullshit. I still don't fucking care about Silk right now. Marvel has still yet to give me a reason to fucking care. And yes, I know I'm repeating myself, but here's the thing. I don't care. Let me fucking repeat myself. Fuck Silk right now. Until Marvel gives me a reason to give a shit, I don't give a shit. But here you go. A storyline that I can be interested in, that I can get behind, that I can have fun with. It doesn't always have to be all gloom and doom and Peter's gonna whine about responsibility for 90% of the fucking story. We're getting a story where there is consequence. There is a big badass threat. And there's also some fun and humor as well. And oh my god, it's got everything. I still am not convinced that the magic is back in Amazing Spider-Man, but for what I got, I really, really enjoyed this. I give it a 4. Was it perfect? Fuck no. But I really enjoyed it, and it barely, and I mean again, barely makes my pick of the week. Moving on to DC, and here's where the frustration goes. Batgirl number 36. DC, what are you doing to this character? What are you doing? You are trying to focus this character on just the girls. Why? Because her name is Batgirl? Why? This title continues to feel really, really girly and heavily focused on social media, which instantly dates the goddamn shit. Look, I know I have read books in the past that have been instantly dated with all the bullshit they have to cater to. You know, sometimes a storyline can still be good if it's sometimes instantly dated. If it's an instantly dated product of the time. Okay, sometimes it works. In here, so far, it's not working for me. This overuse of social media, this really girly tone that the book has, is just not doing it for me. It really makes me miss Gail Simone that much more. And yes, call me a Gail Simone ass kisser all you want. Fuck it, I don't care. The fact is, the reason why I loved Gail Simone so much on the writing is because she didn't alienate any specific parts of her fan base. She knew how to keep the characters compelling. She knew how to make the storytelling interesting. She knew how to take the story in the right direction for the most part. She knew how to make all the characters interact with each other. She knew how to make the stories work, help sell it with the artwork, and she knew how to keep people wanting more. At least that's how I felt with her run on Batgirl. Here, this was a little better than issue 35 was, but that's not saying much. That's like saying I farted, but then the next fart felt a little bit better. You know, that's just how I feel. And I'm reading this title now considering dropping it because it just doesn't have anything for me. And, you know, with Barbara now being locked in at age 21 and acting like a teenager, and the antagonists of this issue are fangirls who watched a Japanese cartoon show, I don't get it. I don't get why this title now has to be girly. Just because it says Batgirl doesn't mean it has to be a girly book. DC, please, please step it up with this character or I'm fucking done. I give it a 2.5. Average read at best. Moving on to Batman number 36. Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. Yes, the secret's out. The Joker is back. And I'm excited for that because while Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time, the Joker is my favorite villain of all time. You know, probably people, you know, based on my name, Blugoblin, you would also automatically assume that the Green Goblin is my favorite villain of all time. That's not the case. It's the Joker. If you want to talk about, if you want to go specific, in terms of Marvel villains specifically, yes, the Green Goblin is my favorite, with Dr. Doom probably being a close second. Here, out of all comics, whether it be Marvel, DC, IDW, Dynamite, I don't fucking care. It always goes back to the Joker. And in this issue, oh man, Bruce is literally fighting for his life against a crazed and deranged Superman, influenced by Joker toxin. Oh God, it's just... The fight between Bruce and Superman, Bruce just happens to win through the power of plot convenience. He just happens to have kryptonite-laced liquid somewhere in his mouth, and he just spits it on Superman, and he's able to get past him. And I'm like, fuck it, it's Batman? You know, I don't get... Batman does have a superpower. For all you think, it's like, well, Batman's cool because he doesn't have any superpowers. Yes, he does. It's called plot convenience, goddammit. That's Batman's power. He always wins through plot convenience, and that's how he got by Superman. Hyped up on Joker toxin. And then we get to the Joker's big reveal. Very nice. I liked it. What Joker does in here, I was like, ooh, interesting. I want to see more of this. It's like the book didn't really wow me at the beginning, but it really got my attention toward the end of the first story with, you know, Batman finally coming face to face again with the Joker. My big question right now is how the fuck did the Joker get his face back? Or where the fuck did Joker get a new face? Did he just grow his skin back? You know, it's like, minor spoiler there. Yeah, Joker has a face again. And he even pulls out his old face that he ripped off, which I was under the assumption that the character Joker's daughter's got the face surgically sewn onto her face. So, little continuity plot hole there. Of course, I'm not reading Batman Eternal. I'm not reading anything that deals with the Joker's daughter character, so I don't know what's going on there. The second story with the crazed people in Arkham or whatever, it was what it was. This wasn't bad. Yes, the Joker's my favorite villain, but that doesn't mean I'm automatically going to love everything he's in. This was just okay, above average, but nowhere near perfect. Beginning of the book irritated me with the plot conveniences, but the stuff involving the Joker taunting Batman, that was good. Second story, it is what it is. I give it a 3. We're going to end this particular review with Green Lantern Corps number 36. Hoo boy. This is the next part of Godhead. Where do I even fucking start? All kinds of twists are going on in here, and this feels eerily similar to almost every Green Lantern story I've been reading since Blackest Night. It's all about power. It's all about who's more powerful. It's turned into like Dragon Ball Z. It's like overemphasis on power and not enough on, you know, simply good guys versus bad guys and shit like that. But in here, we get to see an emotional outpouring from John Stewart. We get to see Stewart really step it up in terms of what's going on here with the New Gods and everything. while Hal's off doing what he's doing, I'm still not going to give that away. Sinestro and the rest of the Green Lantern Corps are trying to come up with a plan to combat the New Gods. And they're on the home world of the Star Sapphires. And there's something that goes on in here. First, they get help from the Weaponer. And the Weaponer is able to give them weapons where they could possibly stand a chance against fighting against the New Gods. But something happens that puts a kibosh on that. And then we get to the big reveal in this issue. Ooh. Interesting. Where the fuck are they going to go from here? I mean, is this going to go down as a great story? I don't know. So far, I kind of feel like that this story is going to rely more on big moments rather than actually advancing the storyline in terms of actually telling the story. You know, that's kind of pulling a Jeff Johns, relying on big, oh my god, moments rather than telling the story. Don't get me wrong, there is storytelling here. There's no questioning it. But it seems that there's much bigger emphasis on just moments. And it seems like it's moments over story. And that, to me, hurts the book a little bit. But for what it was, I did enjoy it. I thought it was good. I'd give it a 3.5. Okay, that's all I got for this video, everybody. As soon as I get done, I'm going to upload this to my computer. And I'm going to go to my Blugoblin X channel and talk about these books. Then I got to get to work on my next Midtown Comics stashes. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Blugoblin01, go check out Blugoblin X. Follow me on Twitter at Blugoblin01. Don't forget my bro, TheMtVernonKid, Deadpoolzilla, Brandon Hex. Don't forget Jennifer and I. We're on Arkham Asylum Studio. We just did a video, a belated Halloween video, if you will. Go check that out. We had fun doing this one. We got some more stuff to do for that channel. We're going to try and pick things back up. You know, now that we're living together, we have more time to find shit to do for that channel. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and until next time, I am Groot.